My peoples, my peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all already know what it is, man. I'm Jay Smith, and we're gonna do what we do, man. We're gonna talk boxing. Salute to everybody tuning in. Young Guns, Reshop, Side in the building. Who else? Toy Mafia in the building. I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Listen, man. We're gonna kick this thing off right away. I'm coming off swinging right away. Lamont Roach says he's gonna put the beats on Isaac Pitbull Cruz. He says he's gonna be able to hurt Pitbull the way Tank Davis was not able to. Come on now. Come on now. Is it really gonna play out this way? By the way, my peoples, I see you guys talking about breakfast. You're talking about some tasty things out there. Enjoy your breakfast, my peoples. Hell yeah, that's what this is about. Enjoy your breakfast while we talking boxing out here. But what do you guys think about Lamont Roach saying he's really gonna hurt Pitbull like that? You believe it? Are you buying in? Superman in the building. Salute, my G. The Hydro Grind. You already know what it is. Mi hermano dominicano en la casa. My peoples. Listen, I'm going to be honest with y'all. The confidence that I see in Lamont Roach and the way that he fought Tank Davis, I feel like he is going to put all type of hands on Pitbull. I really do. And I'm not saying that because Lamont Roach said it. I'm saying it because of what I've seen from him already, the type of fighter that he is, the type of fighter that Pitbull is. Styles make fights, and I think Pitbull just tailor-made for Lamont Roach. He made for that. The Hydro Grind, R.I.P. Gotti Jr., no doubt, man. Rest in peace. And I was reading about how it actually happened. Damn, I don't know if you guys know this, but Gotti Jr. was actually found hanging just like his pops. So that's crazy, you know. And I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to Arturo Gotti, pops, I think it's super suspect the way that it played out. Because he went to Brazil, you know, vacationing with the wife, and decides to do that, to take his own life in a foreign country. I don't know, that just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I've seen a lot about, you know, people who do things like this, and the most common thing is for people to go, when they're going to do that, to a place that they're either very familiar with or a popular place. Either or. Those are the most common scenarios. People go to their own backyard. They go to a neighborhood where they know about, you know, they go somewhere close by to where they're from. Arturo Gotti flying to, you know, to Brazil on vacation, seemingly happy. It just doesn't look like he did that to himself. That's what I would say. That's my opinion. And now, damn, his son, the same thing. That's crazy. Young Gun, something is strange, Jake Smith. Vic, his girlfriend, killed him. Young Gun, suspicious as the Hydro Grind. Super suspicious. Both deaths are suspicious. And look, I'm going to tell you why Arturo Gotti's son's Jr., his death is super suspect. Because this kid was being talked about like he was going to be, you know, a very good amateur boxer and then turn pro and accomplish some things. Like, he had things to look forward to. I never saw him fight, but apparently he was talented. Apparently he was talented. Vic, then some Puerto Rican fighter shot his girlfriend a couple of years ago. Honestly, I don't know the details. I know that all I know is that they had a situation, but I don't really know what the details are. But it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Sai, Felix Verdejo. But Felix Verdejo at that time, I don't think it had nothing to do with him. Felix Verdejo, in his case, that he had his wife and he had a mistress. And the mistress, he got her pregnant. I guess he was trying. I think he had her pregnant. He wanted her to get rid of the baby and all that. Shorty didn't want to, and that's what he did. And you know what's crazy? Felix Verdejo is a fighter who I thought was gonna be a superstar. Like skills wise, I felt like he was a sure thing. Like this guy is gonna be it. But he had that motorcycle accident. He was inactive for a while. Then when he came back, he lost. And he just never was that guy that we saw coming up. You know, it's almost like he was not it anymore. That's it. He didn't have it. I don't know what happened. But after he had that motorcycle accident, in the ring, he just didn't look the same. Vic, remember the Colombian guy? Young Guns, it doesn't pass the smell taste. It doesn't, bro. Something is off. Sai, he got knocked out before he got locked up. His head weren't in the game. Yeah, that's it. He wasn't the same. He lost. He got knocked out by the Asian guy who gave Teofimo problems. That guy, I can't remember, Nakatani. Yes. Nakatani is the one who knocked him out. And if you remember that fight, he was putting all type of hands on Nakatani. He dropped her. He was dominating Nakatani. I'm going to put it to you like that. But then he got hurt, and it all went downhill from there. But it was before that. He had got, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Or was it after that he got into the car accident and came back not looking good? Got upset by some guy. So, you see it, man. His personal life, he's a guy, Felix Verdejo is a fighter who could have accomplished a lot, man. Very talented. And that's it. Threw his whole life away over a woman. You know, he wanted to have fun with a woman. When things got bad, he took the worst decision ever. Or made the worst decision ever. My peoples, we digress from Lamont Roach and Tank Davis, right? And now Pitbull Cruz is in this whole saga. Somebody asked Lamont Roach, what Tank Davis did, is that a duck? And he said, we had a rematch scheduled. We had a fight date. And it's crazy because he's saying the same things that I've been trying to tell you guys. Same thing I've been trying to tell you. Lamont Roach said, we had a rematch set. And he chose not to do it and go do an exhibition. Of course, that's a duck. Of course. Simple logic. The hydro grind, stupid decisions. That's the thing, bro. Some people don't know how to take a L. The hydro grind, if you cheat on your wife and got a woman pregnant, man up and take the responsibility. That's it. That's it. You need to take that. You need to take that L. Whatever, reaction is going to come from that, you need to deal with it. But that's the problem. Man, a lot of men get themselves in a situation, and when they find themselves in a jam, they don't know how to say, that's it. The gig is up. Instead, they try to go a little bit further to keep hiding it. And that's what Felix Verdejo did. He thought, if I take her out, nobody's going to know. And look. What's the name of that kid? That he had that 16-year-old girl, Celeste, and she disappeared, and she was found in his car and all that. He's cooked. He's cooked. David. That's the name of the artist. He's cooked. You see that they haven't arrested him yet? They landing all their ducks in a row. Boop, 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 boop. When they go grab him, he cooked. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, and I just want your honest opinion. Honest opinion. Young Guns, I heard about it. He's guilty. He's cooked. Watch. They're going to catch him. Honest opinion, my people. Do you think that Lamont Roach can hurt or stop Pitbull Cruz? Is that a possibility? Agent 17, the news job, too stressful. They just put you somewhere and expect you to know the rest. Side, Edwin Valero was in a similar situation. Bro, listen. Edwin Valero, had he not had drug problems like he did, he may have ended up being one of the greatest fighters of all time. May have. But that's the problem. Dudes get so heavily into drugs, become super aggressive, and that's what they end up doing. That's what they end up doing. If you look at the athletes who do similar things, you'll find out that there was a serious drug problem. And that's where that aggressiveness comes from. The hydro grind. Never in his life can Roach stop Pitbull. Damn. Never in his life, ever? Come on, bro. Golly. All right. So I ask you the hydro grind. Can he hurt him? How about hurt him? Can he do that? Agent 17, I'm going to run home. I'll see you in a few, my G. The hydro grind. Never, ever. Not even hurt him? Listen, I think you're underestimating Lamont Roach. Superman, nope. Young Guns, Pitbull has had one stoppage in his last 5 fights, being Rolly. Superman, that neck. Side, I don't see it. Damn, nobody sees Lamont Roach hurting Pitbull? Man, y'all disrespecting Lamont. Nobody? Damn, my peoples. After all them hands he put on Tank Davis, we're going to see. Because I'm going to tell you something. And I want you to understand this. 2 things that I want you to consider about this fight. It's important for you to keep this in mind. Very important for you to keep this in mind, my peoples. I want you to consider it. Number 1, Lamont Roach has a noticeable reach advantage over Pitbull Cruz. He's going to use it, just like Terrence Crawford used it on Canelo. That's number 1. Number 2, Pitbull Cruz is a flat-footed fighter, just like Canelo, who goes forward, throws a lot of punches, has head movement, moves his head. He's flat-footed. He's coming forward. While Lamont Roach gives you angles, lets the hands go, and we already know from that fight with Tank Davis, he could beat you inside of that phone booth, or he can outbox you on a football field. So guess what? Either way they do it, Lamont Roach is going to put the beats on Pitbull. There you have it. There you have it. Just do boxing. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. Bam. What's your prediction, my brother? Tank Davis Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz. Can Lamont Roach hurt him? That's the magic question. He's saying he will. He's saying he's going to put all type of hands on Pitbull like Tank Davis could not. Superman, different skill set. Young Guns. Roach is going to fill out nicely at 140. The hydro grind. I got Pitbull. Man, you got Pitbull. Damn, the hydro grind. You see? I try to teach you. With Bud and Canelo. And you're going to go against me again. You really want to go against me? I'm going to have to I'm going to have to set up a cooking show for that Sunday. At this point, my G, come on now. Come, your boy trying to tell you. Just do boxing. I think Lamont Roach wins on points, but no KO. I agree with you. I think he does it on points. But does he hurt Pitbull at any point during this fight? Because I think that he can, with that size difference, with that height and reach advantage he's going to have over Pitbull. I think he's going to be timing him coming in and catch him with some real good shots. I think we might see Pitbull get wobbled or be in trouble and have to defend himself. Young Guns, Hydro Grind picked Canelo and Zepeda. Didn't he? Pick both of them. Pick Canelo and Zepeda. For Shakur, the Hydro Grind said his hands was too brittle. For Bud, he was too little. Now what you gonna tell me? The Hydro Grind for Roach. Why Pitbull's gonna beat him? The Hydro Grind. Whatever you want, let me on time. Only one time, and I'll explain. Potato. Mañana I'm gonna have to, cause I don't have the link right now, but I'm gonna need to hear this. But I need to know, in the case of Shakur, his hands was too brittle. In the case of Crawford, he was too little. What do you got on Lamont Roach? Why is he gonna lose? Listen, my people, Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz is gonna be a competitive fight. Pitbull's a guy who's gonna let his hands go. He's gonna apply the pressure. And I believe that in the case of Pitbull, he knows that he cannot outbox Lamont Roach. So we can expect a certain level of aggressiveness. He's trying to stop him. He's trying to hurt him. He's trying to, he's going to press the gas. This fight is going to be fireworks. Because we already saw Lamont Roach with Tank Davis stand inside the pocket and trade with him. And win the exchanges, most of them. So you think he's going to be running from Pitbull? You got it twisted, my peoples. If you think that Lamont Roach is going to be running from Pitbull and trying to survive, you confused, I promise you. That's it. Listen, the cat is out the bag. It's okay that we thought Lamont Roach was going to get knocked out by Tank Davis. That's okay because at that time, he's the 130 guy moving up to 135. Lamont Roach was the cherry pick gone wrong. Cool. But now that we know about Lamont Roach, Pitbull Cruz is tailor-made for him, my peoples. Tell me I'm lying. Pitbull Cruz is tailor-made for Lamont Roach. A flat-footed fighter that's going to come forward and apply pressure and just come forward and throw a lot of punches. Lamont Roach is going to be like, pop, 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 pop. The same way that you saw Lamont Roach winning exchanges on Tank Davis, you're going to see it against Pitbull Cruz. Why would you not expect that? The Hydro Grind. Roach is too inactive. Only one fight per year. How exactly did that help Tank Davis? Beat him up. Beat him up. How did that help him? It didn't help him, the Hydro Grind. You should have known. You told me the same thing about Crawford. How did that help Canelo? Beat him up. Canelo got beat up. That don't help. Vic, Roach best Tank. Roach special. That's the thing, my brother. We disrespecting Lamont Roach. We being disrespectful. It's all about, no, Tank wasn't the same. And Lamont Roach turned out to be a cherry pick gone wrong. He was supposed to get knocked out. If he stuck to the script, to what is supposed to happen, you're the 130-pounder moving up to 135, facing the strongest puncher in the division, you were supposed to go to sleep. But it turns out Lamont Roach is special, and we didn't know it. That guy's special. Come on. Young Guns, I can't see Pitbull wild hooks landing on Roach. Nah, man. That defense on Lamont Roach, if Tank Davis couldn't land, Pitbull ain't going to. The Hydro Grind. Roach lost to Hector Luis Garcia He got beat down and got gifted the split decision. Everybody booed and said it was a robbery. The hydro grind, look, I understand the hydro grind. Hector Luis Garcia, El Androide. That's our Dominican brother. So you gotta rock with him, and even I gotta rock with him. But BoxRec says Lamont Roach won that fight. You gotta accept it, my guy. We got cooked. Superman. So I was inactive. This is gonna be his second fight. For Tank Davis, was trying to get a rematch. Tank Davis duck, and he going right away for somebody else. And I'm gonna tell you what, I do believe that Lamont Roach is gonna hurt Pitbull. And I think the fight goes the distance, man, because Pitbull can take a shot. But I think Lamont Roach, we're going to see Pitbull at least get wobbled in this fight. Did you see the height difference between them, by the way? Did you see? Let me see if I can find it for you. You see the height difference? Yo, Lamont Roach has a very noticeable reach advantage on Pitbull Cruz. We're going to be punching him in the face. Pitbull, you're going to see a lot of head movement. Pitbull's very good with that. Mike Tyson-like head movement to get on the inside. Okay. But we see the type of fighter that Lamont Roach is on the inside. That's what makes him special, my peoples. Roach is a guy who can box with you and outbox you. We saw it on Tank Davis. But he could fight you inside of a phone booth. We're going to see Pitbull having to back away from Roach. You see how you seen Pitbull always coming forward, bam, 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 bam. Watch how you're going to see Pitbull using that footwork like you're not used to seeing it. Just like you saw it with Tank Davis. The same way. Tank Davis spent most of those 12 rounds. Like if we time it, how much time he spent standing his ground versus how much time he spent moving around. And I guarantee you, Tank Davis spent most of the time in that fight moving to the left, to the right, back, punching and moving. He just wasn't the same aggressive Tank Davis. He had his moments where he stood his ground, bam, 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 and traded with Lamont Roach, but we saw what happened. We saw how that played out for Tank Davis. And I told you guys, for the rematch, Lamont Roach was going to win that fight. I told you guys. And you're like, nah, Tank Davis going to knock him out in the rematch. Tank is going to knock him out in the rematch. You didn't imagine Tank was going to duck. You didn't imagine Tank was going to duck. Now what? And by the way, I've already debunked the narrative that Tank, that is not a duck because he's going to make a lot of money with Jake Paul. I debunked that, my people. Too easy. That was too easy for me. Because I already told you, the fight with Lamont Roach would have took place last month. He could have still been able to fight Jake Paul at the end of the year. He could have fought Lamont Roach on the fight date and still fought Jake Paul at the end of the year. Could have had both. But the reality is, Tank Davis and his team know we get our ass kicked by Lamont Roach, there ain't going to be no Jake Paul bag. So they made the business decision and say, yo, nah, let's not fight this guy. We could take this L, and this L is going to be catastrophic to our career. Forget Lamont Roach. We got to go somewhere else. That's really what happened, my peoples. They understood what could be the outcome of that rematch. And I understood it because I told you guys. I said Lamont Roach is going to win the rematch. They didn't give it to him. They didn't give it to him. They preferred to do an exhibition and retire. Come on now. They had your grind. And he didn't beat up Tank. He got hit as much as he hit. Beat Tank up. Beat him up. Look at you in denial. Not a beat down. He beat him up. Had Tank Davis taking a knee. Taking a knee. Lying about grease in the eyes. Come on now. That's a beatdown. Gave him a mental beatdown. Gave him a psychological beatdown. This was the guy that Tank Davis tried to bully but could not. When Tank Davis gave him a little shoulder, Roach gave him a little shoulder. When Tank Davis punched him in the head in the clinch, Roach punched him in the head, was like, yeah, what's up? What's up? Roach was not there to get bullied, bro. He was there to do the bullying. Tank Davis not used to that. COE Films. Woke and heard you spitting facts. Salute, my brother. Bam. You already know what it is, man. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning, my peoples. The hydro grind. A ti te gusta joderme. Nah, yo, I'm just telling you the truth, bro. I'm telling you the truth. You saw Tank Davis get beat up, and now you want to act like he didn't get beat up. Strap season boxing. Tank told y'all Roach rematch wasn't next after the first fight. You need to start being in denial and delusional. So strap season is actually you in denial and delusional. And I'm going to tell you why. You making stuff up out of thin air. And I'm going to give you the facts. You can feel free to respond, and I'll respond to what you have to say. Right after the fight, you may not know that you're talking to the human algorithm, but you're about to find out. Right after the fight, they asked Tank Davis, do you want the rematch? And the first words that came out of his mouth, right after getting beat up, yeah, I want a rematch. Those words came out of Tank Davis' mouth. Then they interviewed Jake Paul. Jake Paul said, me and him was supposed to fight. I was going to climb the ring. But he's now going to do a rematch with Lamont Roach. When he handle that, then we're going to fight. After Jake Paul said that, a rematch was set. A rematch date was set. So they were supposed to fight. They had a date set. And both fighters had agreed to that date. So strap season boxing, the moment you say Tank told ya, you're already showing that you're a tankomaniac. You're on some tankomaniac shit. Tank didn't tell us shit. He didn't tell us shit. That's what you want to believe. Tank had a rematch date set with Lamont Roach. And he ducked Lamont Roach. But you want to be delusional and play out some other story inside your head. It might sound good inside your head, but you cap it. The Monk, smooth shades, bro. Appreciate it, my guy. Jay Solo. Tank is maxed out. Bro, Tank is 30 years old. Still hasn't fought a single reigning champion in the 135 division. And he still got people talking about, Tank told ya. Tank told ya. Strap season boxing. Let me guess. You're one of the people that say, I would have did the same thing that Tank Davis is doing too. I would have fought an exhibition. I would have did it. Like, come on, man. Y'all gotta work on that, man. Strap season boxing. Tank said he do, but it won't be next. All right, man. I see strap season boxing that you like to go a lot by what Tank said. I want to know what the hell you said about this whole situation. How about you try saying that? What do you say about this situation? He ducking the guy who beat him up, who they got gifted him a draw against, and he went to go fight an exhibition with the guy that everybody been saying is no good for boxing. I want to hear what you got to say about that. Because, you know, everybody been saying Jake Paul's no good, man. Why Jake Paul in boxing? We don't like Jake Paul. Oh, but now you like Jake Paul when Tank Davis is going to get money with him? I want to know what you got to say, because you already commented twice, and both times, no, but Tank Davis told y'all this, and Tank Davis told y'all that. Like, you got your own mind, bro. I don't want to hear what Tank Davis said. I want to hear what you got to say. COE Films, Jake Paul interviewed after Tank fight and said they will have to rematch before Jake Paul. Listen, bro. Tank Davis specifically said that they was going to rematch. And Jake Paul specifically said that they was going to rematch and then he was going to fight Tank Davis. It was already, the cat was already out. That was the plan the whole time. That was the plan the whole time. Zelnet joke fight. It's a circus show. It's a circus show. But Tank Davis fans, they don't want to see that it's a circus show. They're like, no, because it's a good decision. We would do the same thing. Circus show. Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all gotta stop defending the indefendable, man. Tank said this, though, and Tank said that. Tank duck. That's what you need to understand and accept. Ernest Morales, buenos dias, maestro, from Rochester. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. Wes Dustin, Jay letting them hands go this morning. Salute, champ. I already told you, my brother. I'm coming out swinging. I'm coming out like this. Bang, 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 bang. I'm coming out swinging. I don't want to hear the, I would do the same thing too, and Tank Davis is going to make a lot of money. I don't want to hear it, my peoples. He ducked Lamont Roach. Dog. Right after getting beat up by the man. I'm letting them hands fly. That's how I'm doing it this morning. The Hydro Grind. Man, I pray to God that Tank doesn't retire and fight Roach up next and knock him the F out early and shut everybody up. I mean, I know that's what you wish, but you don't always get what you wish, my brother. You was wishing for Canelo to knock Crawford out. Look what happened with that wish. What happened to that wish? So, I wish for a solid gold toilet with a diamond-crusted flusher, but I'm probably not going to get it. COE Films. Even Lamont started preparing for camp. That's why he's suing, because he spent money starting camp just to pull out. Bad business. That's real bad business. I told people Lamont Roach got kneecapped. That was his payday, his second time on the big stage, his other time to shine. That was his. And Jake Paul just took it from him. Tank Davis and Jake Paul just took that moment from him. Like how I whooped your ass. You get gifted a draw, and you don't even give me my rematch, which I earned, which I deserve, which we contracted to do. Nasty work. Brashkarov, greetings from the mean streets of North Omaha. Tank should win, but it's exhibition. I mean, they already said that they're gonna announce a winner and a loser, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that's an exhibition no matter what they say. There ain't no winners and losers in no exhibitions. Oh, so what that win is gonna mean for Tank? He's 1-0 in exhibitions. Tank Davis is gonna be 1-0 in exhibitions. Shit don't even go in the box right. That's a joke. Gattaca's the last gap. We want Jake knocked out. I ain't gonna cap, man. No comment. North Star. No integrity in boxing anymore. That's it. Integrity is going to shit. But fans are part of the reason why integrity is going to shit, because they support it. They support the bullshit. It is what it is. West does it. I feel the same, Hydra, but Javante been doing only what he wants. The Hydra Grind, Roach would never beat a 100% motivated Tank. Never in his entire life. That's my favorite thing when fans, the Hydra Grind, when you guys turn into psychologists and psychiatrists and you go into the fighters' minds because you know where their mind is at from watching them on TV. Man, that entertains me a lot when you do that. Side, but Jay Smith, he's getting the bag. Will you do the same thing too? But side, he could have fought Lamont Roach last month and still got the bag with Jake Paul. So yes, I would do the same thing. I would have fought Lamont Roach first and still fought Jake Paul. But if I'm scared of losing to Lamont Roach, then I would do the same thing. Then I do the same thing. If I know Lamont Roach gonna whoop my ass, I'm doing the same thing. Frank, good morning, brother. Salute, my G. Bam. Strap season boxing. I'm taking the back, big bro. You box, right? Prize fighters, right? Strap season boxing. And I appreciate that you taking the bag. I'm taking the bag too. But why not fight Lamont Roach a couple months ago and then take the bag? You don't have to. You see, what I want you to accept, strap season boxing, is that to take the bag, you didn't have to skip over Lamont Roach. It's not like the fight was going to be on the same date, so he couldn't do it. The fights are months apart. He could have fought Lamont Roach and got that bag that you're talking about. So strap season boxing, will you have done the same thing? If Lamont Roach is going to be here and Jake Paul is going to be months apart for an exhibition that doesn't even go in your box rack, it's a show. Would you have ducked Lamont Roach and waited for the Jake Paul bag? Or would you fight Lamont Roach who just beat your ass up and you got gifted a draw? What would you do in that situation? The hide your grind. That's all I'ma say. Ya me callo. I'm telling you, you're gonna play psychologist. Like, you're gonna go in the guy's head. Like, oh no, his head, his mind, his mind. And every time somebody get beat up, you can use that same line. Every time. Oh no, his mind just wasn't right. You know why his mind wasn't right? Because Lamont Roach was beating him up. Courtney Middlebrook. Do you believe Lamont Roach would have beaten Tank in the rematch? 100%, Courtney. 100%. I personally, and you can go back, that's why I love YouTube. The receipts are always going to be there. I predicted Lamont Roach was going to win the rematch. And you know why I made that prediction? Just look at the first fight. Consider the way that it played out. Lamont Roach was literally walking Tank Davis down throughout the entire fight. And whenever Tank stood his ground, Lamont traded with him on the inside, comfortably, throughout the whole fight. And eventually, when they traded, it was Tank backing away and using the footwork, because he was losing those exchanges. So my assessment about the rematch is based on the fact that this fight didn't go the distance because Lamont Roach was out there surviving. Lamont Roach wasn't out there running and Tank Davis attacking. Roach was out there putting no type of hands on Tank. So because of that, I say, you know what, in the rematch, he's going to be more comfortable. He's going to beat him more convincingly. They won't be able to take it from him. Jay Solo, Tank ain't never been that dude. He has power and some smarts. He not beating these more skilled fighters. Side, Tank ain't doing near nothing. Look, I'm going to tell you guys like this. What happened with Lamont Roach immediately sent Tank into retirement thoughts. And I'm going to tell you why. When you're this guy who's knocking everybody out, you're this guy who's bringing up a guy from the 130 division, who everybody thinks you're going to knock him out. When you cherry pick a guy from a lower division and we expecting that you're going to sleep him, and it plays out the way that it did, you know what happens? Tank has lost some of that air of invincibility. You're going to see guys step in the ring not being scared of Tank no more. And when that happens, fighters start being involved in more competitive fights, and guys start getting closer to beating you. And guys start now going the distance. You're not stopping them anymore. And that's it. You're just bound to get a loss. His loss could have been his very next fight with Lamont Roach. It's just like, that's it. It's kind of like Mike Tyson. If you saw Mike Tyson when he lost to Buster Douglas, that was a loss. That was an upset, of course. One of the biggest upsets in boxing history. But he also lost that air of invincibility. After that, even in the press conferences, you saw guys going at him different. Like, oh shit, these niggas is not scared of Mike no more. So that's what happens when you're a scary fighter, that you're going around knocking people out, and all of a sudden somebody show up and they go toe to toe and feed you leather habitually for 12 rounds, you lose some of that air of invincibility that you had. And that's what happened with Tank. He lost that. He lost some of that. MAW, I prefer Roach rematch over Jake Paul fight. But here we are. Roach versus Pitbull would be interesting. And I'm going to tell you what. Tank versus Roach was a very much anticipated rematch. We were already making predictions. We were already talking about how that fight was going to play out. So obviously it's going to be disappointing to not see it happen. But Roach versus Pitbull, and I've been telling you guys, that fight is going to be full of fireworks. I promise you that. You're going to see fireworks. Why? We already know the type of fighter that Pitbull Cruz is. Comes forward, let the hands fly. Hard puncher. And we already found out. If we didn't know, I didn't know, I found out, and some of you as well, what type of fighter Lamont Roach is. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You're not going to see Lamont Roach trying to survive against Pitbull. He's towering. He looks huge over Pitbull. As far as height and reach, he's going to put all type of hands on him. Courtney Middlebrook. What if it was 40 mil bag to fight rematch with Pitbull or any fighter and not Jake? I would have got the bag first, then for Roach in any scenario. A rematch will always be there, bro. And look, I respect that. I respect that. But the point is, you're saying a rematch will always be there. The rematch was there now. There was a rematch date and it was contracted. The Jake Paul fight takes place at the end of the year, Courtney. So all I'm trying to tell you is, he could have fought Lamont Roach. He could have fought Lamont Roach, right? And still fought Jake Paul. So why are we saying that, why are we suggesting that in order for him to fight Jake Paul, he could not have gotten in the ring with Lamont Roach months prior, when that's going to be an exhibition? That doesn't even go into the box rack. He could have did it. So the scenario that you're painting, Courtney, is that he had to skip this guy in order to fight, to do an exhibition 3 months down the line. He didn't have to skip him. He could have fought him. Unless Courtney Middlebrook, Tank Davis felt like this guy's going to beat me, or he could beat me, because if Lamont Roach beat him, then the Jake Paul bag is going to disappear. So it looks like, no, it doesn't look like, it is. They wasn't confident that they could beat Lamont Roach. They really wasn't, Courtney. They was not. Because he could have fought Roach, did that rematch, beat him if they say he was going to beat him, and then still fought Jake Paul in the same exact date that he's going to fight him. The notion that he has to skip Lamont Roach in order to do that exhibition with Jake Paul is false. He didn't have to skip him. But he chose to. And I think most of us know why he chose not to fight Lamont Roach. I mean, put 2 and 2 together. Put 2 and 2 together and consider this. I told you guys that Lamont Roach was going to beat Tank Davis. And about 2 months after I told you that, Tank Davis is telling you, I'm not the face of boxing. I'm just a guy who fight. And I'm doing this exhibition. I'm not doing that rematch. Does that really sound like he's confident that he could beat Lamont Roach? Even because I want you to consider this. Courtney Middlebrook, I want you to consider this. Before Tank Davis struck a deal to fight Jake Paul, you may not remember, or you may remember that he posted his next fight will be either Manny Pacquiao or he was going to move up to the 140 division. He never mentioned Lamont Roach. Never mentioned him. So I'm just trying to show you that even before, you see how you could tell me, no, because he's not ducking, he's just getting the bag. He's just going to fight Jake Paul. Even before Tank Davis was going to fight Jake Paul, he was already ducking Roach by saying that he's going to fight Pacquiao or fight at 140 and not mentioning him. Fight at even though Roach is going to fight at 140 with Pitbull, Tank is still ducking him because the rematch was contracted at 135. So the moment he says, I'm going to 140, he ducked that rematch. He's letting us know. So while you guys may think, or you want people to think, that Lamont Roach, only not fighting Lamont Roach because of Jake Paul. Even before he was talking to Jake Paul, he was already letting us know he's not fighting Lamont Roach. That duck was happening. No matter what, they did not want to fight that rematch. And to prove to you that they don't want to fight the rematch, I saw in an interview Coach Cal say that Lamont Roach is a nobody, that don't fight him. Let's not fight him. He a nobody. He a nobody. Let's not fight him. Something along those lines. They don't want to fight Lamont Roach. It has nothing to do with Jake Paul. Jake Paul can give you an excuse to make an argument. Oh, no, it's because of Jake Paul, and it's because he's getting the bag. But the truth is, even if he wasn't going to fight Jake Paul, he wasn't going to fight Lamont Roach. He was going to duck. Side, that duck was already cooked, of course. Of course. They're using Jake Paul as the excuse. But Tank was not planning on fighting Lamont Roach. He didn't want that smoke. Side, duck and pancakes. Brady, Roach can get Tank. And Tank knows it, of course. He beat him. He beat him in that fight. Tank Davis was gifted a draw. If we're being honest, he was gifted a draw. Even without the knee, even without the point deduction that should have took place. Without that, Lamont Roach still won. So, and in that rematch, he was going to win in more convincing fashion. Because you have to understand, when a fighter, and guys, if you've been following boxing long enough, you're going to feel me on this. When a fighter is like a knockout artist, and he beating everybody up, knocking everybody out, and then he has a fight where people felt he lost, where he took a lot of shots, in a way they lose that air of invincibility. And now other future fights, other fighters that face him in the future, they not scared. And I'm not saying every fighter's scared, but once you see a guy take punishment and not be able to stop his opponent and take more punishment and be gifted a decision, a lot of other fighters like, yeah, I could whoop his ass. I could beat him. Lamont Roach already put the blueprint out there. That's it. The blueprint on how to whoop Tank Davis' ass is out there. That's it. Side, but you would do the same thing too. You know, Tank is gonna do an exhibition show, but we would all do it too. You think about that. How do you spend 5 years going at Jake Paul? He's no good for boxing. He's a clown. He's a YouTuber. We don't want this circus show in boxing. Now he's gonna fight Tank Davis. Well, Tank Davis is getting the bag. We would all do the same thing. That's another level of goofballery. That's goofballery. How we asking everybody? This is how I picture some of you guys. Canelo Alvarez, you need to go fight Benavidez. You need to go fight Bebo. Terrence Crawford, you go fight Boots. You go up and fight Benavidez, and you go up and fight Usyk at heavyweight Crawford. You ain't done nothing. And what about Tank Davis? Tank Davis, well, I would do the same thing too and fight an exhibition because he's getting the money. But why Tank Davis don't fight the big dogs? Well, Tank Davis is getting the money and he's a big star and he's putting butts in seats. It's like, why you ask everybody to fight the best, but you don't do the same thing with Tank? I don't understand that logic. I ask everybody to fight the best. My favorite fighter is Bud. I ask him to fight the best. One of my favorite fighters, Shakur Stevenson, I asked him, go fight Tank, fight Tio, fight Devin. I want Shakur to, the guy that I'm rooting for, I want him to fight all of the best. So you could prove me right that you is that guy. But Tank Davis fans, He don't deserve to fight Tank. What he done to earn a fight with Tank Davis? Huh? Superman. That's because those are retractor and projectors. Jay Solo, Tank can't move up. He's stuck and maxed out. And his ceiling already. He's not as great as y'all make him. So he's gonna move up to 140. He has no choice. He has no choice. He can't make 135 anymore. Let's see. Let's see what he chooses to do. He may retire after the Jake Paul fight. If he does, he literally would retire without ever facing any of the best in any of the divisions that he fought. If he chooses to leave the sport of boxing, that would be a travesty. You're one of the most talented guys, and you never fought any of the most talented in the game. That would be a travesty. The Hydro Grind. You got to be a Tank fan and follow him to understand. You got to be a Tank fan and follow him to understand. So to understand, you can't explain it to me? You can't just explain it to me? Why would you want everybody to fight the best and then allow Tank to just fight anybody? You could just explain it. Brady, fight Garcia without a hydration clause. Jay Solo, and he will lose. That's why he's exiting. Look, it's like I told you guys. I'm telling you. Look, some of you were on that show when I talked about it. And I said Tank Davis is going to end up either moving to 140 or retiring. Why? Because he will not be able to keep making 135 pounds. And some of you was like, nah, Tank is small. He's a little dude, and he could keep making it because he's such a little dude. And I'm like, bro, have you seen pictures of Tank Davis when he not training? Yo, Tank be ballooning up to 160s, 170s. Tank be weighing 170, 180 pounds, bro. So just think about when you was 25 years old, because that's how old Tank was when he made his debut at the 135 division. 25 years old. Think about your body when you was 25 and then your body when you was 30. It's not the same. Your body changed in that time frame. So his body's bigger, but he's still making 135. Guess what? That ain't easy. I know he's struggling to make that weight. And I told you guys. And all the people that said, nah. You wildin'. He's too small. He's too small. I was like, okay, we'll see. Look how coincidences work. When I told you guys that he was not going to be able to keep making 135, the very next day, Tank Davis posted that he was going to fight Manny Pacquiao or move to the 140 division. The very next day after I told you guys this. That's why I'm the human algorithm, and you don't want to believe it. I told you guys, he's not going to be able to make that weight no more. Tank Davis will never fight at 135. If he chooses not to retire, it'll be at 140. I can guarantee you that. Now, is Tank going to come back after getting that huge back from Jake Paul? We don't know. He may actually retire without ever fighting any of the best. That would be insane. Courtney Middlebrook. So if he didn't fight Jake next and went with a rematch against Roach. So look, Courtney, I'm going to stop reading. Because you said if he didn't fight Jake Paul next and went with a rematch, you're acting like the fights are set up for the same date and like he can't just do both. Why aren't you not looking, Courtney, at the possibility of him fighting Lamont Roach a few months ago and fighting Jake Paul at the end of the year, just like he's planning to? Why are you painting this scenario of, oh, not Jake Paul next, goes with the rematch? Why not the rematch and then Jake Paul like it was supposed to happen? So you're painting the scenario the way you wanted to see it and not the way that it actually is. Because the way that it actually is, he had a rematch date set and an exhibition set for months later. He could have did both, Courtney. You refuse to see that. You keep trying to say, well, he got to do only one first. He had to do one, and he just did the one that made the most money. That's not true. That's not accurate. That's a fake narrative. The truth is, he could have did both, and he decided to duck this one and just do the one later in the year. That's what happens. You keep trying to elude what actually happened. Side, your boy changed a lot in those 5 years. But that's what I'm trying to tell you, my G. From 25 years old to 30, your body changes. Changes. Tank Davis was not going to be able to keep making that 135. Or he was going to make it, but be fighting weight drain, not be healthy, not be strong, not be able to knock people out anymore. All type of stuff. Might get knocked out because you weight drained. So, there you have it. Ernest Morales, how do you think Tank's will reflect star? The Tank's bottom, I don't know what you're saying, bro. You're going to have to fix it. I can't see what you're saying. I can't tell what you're saying. Superman, it's all love, fam. It's all love, my peoples. Y'all know we do the trash talking over here. By the way, welcome to Boxing for Breakfast. Y'all already know what it is. When you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. By the way, man, damn, your 18 likes in an hour is diabolical. I'm over here feeding you this serious dosage of boxing. Side, I think boxers should box other boxers and rematch guys who gave them a controversial decision. I mean, that's what all makes sense. That's what we should all think. Boxers should fight the best and give rematch when a rematch is deserved. But if you're a hardcore fan, Courtney Middlebrook, instead of looking at what should happen, you're finding a way. You're finding ways to justify what Tank does. Whatever Tank does, you want to find a way to defend it. No, because he's doing the right thing, because he's going to get the bag, and he could have did this, and he could have did that, but he should do... You're looking at it from what you think is in Tank's best interest, as opposed to what's in boxing's best interest. You see? As a boxing fan, I want the best to fight the best. I want this anticipated fight. Tank Davis, Lamont Roach, anticipated rematch. As a boxing fan, that's what I want. But as a Tank Davis fan, you're like, no, but Tank is going to get more money. Tank is going to... As a boxing fan, you're concerned about how much money Tank is going to get and what's going to be great for Tank, what is the best in Tank's interest. I don't care about that. These are millionaires. They're all going to make millions of dollars. They're all making millions of dollars. So you got to think about that, Courtney. You, me and you, like, I'm not interested in arguing about millions of dollars because I don't got millions of dollars. So if you don't got millions of dollars, you got two average Joes debating about somebody that's going to make hundreds of millions of dollars. And your take is like, yeah, because he's going to get a lot of millions. But if he fight Lamont Roach, he's also going to get millions. He's just going to get more millions. So do I really want to go back and forth about who's getting more millions? Not really. That's just pocket watching. We really need to go back and forth about who should fight who. Who should fight who? Who are the best? What are the fights that need to happen? Courtney Middlebrook. No, you are. Because he had the fight set with Jake Paul. Remember, Jake getting in the ring and someone else. Yo, Courtney, you on denial. You seriously on denial, Courtney. Jake Paul himself said that they wasn't going to fight because now Tank is going to do a rematch. There was a rematch date set. The fight was posted by the PBC, Courtney. Your talking point is actually embarrassing. It's embarrassing that you're trying to go back and say, no. They had it set up like this. They had it. It's embarrassing, Courtney. You don't make me look for the video and play it for you. Don't make me go that far. Somebody just tell Courtney, because I could play the video for you, Courtney, where Jake Paul is saying, we were going to fight a rematch. I was going to climb the ring, but after what happened with Lamont Roach, he's going to do the rematch first, and then we're going to fight after. Don't make me pull up that video for you, Courtney. I shouldn't have to. Everybody saw that video. Do I need to find you the post where PBC posted the rematch with the fight date and everything? Do I need to find you that? Do I need to explain to you that they contracted for a rematch and that's why Lamont Roach is suing? You seem to not understand that. You're such a Tank fan and you want to defend them so hard that you're even lying and making stuff up out of thin air. And what happens, Courtney, is that you don't understand. You're talking to the human algorithm. If you make some stuff out of thin air with me, you're wasting your time. I'm going to show you right away. I could show you the proof that you're making stuff up out of thin air. A rematch was contracted. Jake Paul told us that they was going to do a rematch, and you sitting here saying otherwise. You got to go to a different boxing channel to make stuff up, Courtney. This is not the place where you make stuff up. You get cooked quick and easily. Side, Tank needs that get back. His fans don't care about Tank looking like a coward. They don't know what cowardice is. That's the problem. Tank Davis went from being the face of boxing, or from a lot of people considering him the face of boxing, to being a duck. He's a duck. He's being ridiculed. And what his fans got to say, he's getting the bag though. He's getting the bag. Hey, he's getting a lot of money. Like, who the hell cares? All these people are millionaires. All these people are millionaires. People look like fools when they bring up the bag. Fools. It's like, bro, you work a 9 to 5. I work a 9 to 5. I'm not going to look like a dummy arguing with you about who's making money. We 9 to 5ers, B. These are people who are making millions of dollars per fight. Come on. What did I make up? You made up the fact that you try to say that Tank Davis was not going to fight Lamont Roach, that a rematch with Jake Paul was set from the beginning. That's a lie. That is 100% a lie. And you not understand that. 100% a lie, Courtney. So there was a rematch in place for 1 month, and then there was a fight in place for Jake Paul for a different month. So, Courtney, why are you not understanding that he could have fought Lamont Roach and then fought Jake Paul? I don't know how to explain it to you, Courtney. You're saying that Jake Paul is the money train. Nobody's disputing that. But Lamont Roach is the one who whooped his ass, the one who everybody wants to see, the anticipated fight. Why are you, a supposedly boxing fan, right, I'm assuming, debating and justifying an exhibition that could have still happened at the end of the year? We don't understand you, Courtney. We don't understand the Tankomaniac mentality of you trying to push a narrative that Tank Davis could have only fought one and he chose Jake Paul. That's a fake narrative. I already debunked it a million times by explaining to you that he could have fought Roach and then Tank on the that he could have fought Roach and then Jake Paul on the same date that he's planning on fighting him. He could have did that. But you keep trying to float that fake narrative of, oh, well, he could only fight one or the other, and he picked the one with the bag. Fake narrative. That's why you guys were labeled Tankomaniacs, because you can't accept the reality of what's happening. The whole world, planet Earth, see what's happening. Planet Earth, see the duck. And then it's a group of Tankomaniacs making an argument like, nah, is that he had to go get that bag first. Come on. You don't even make sense. I don't know. Somehow inside your head, that argument could make sense, but it doesn't. Anybody else, if you're not talking to a Tankomaniac, I promise you, you're looking like a fool making those talking points. You're looking like a fool. Ernest Morales, Jay doing some good cooking this episode. I'll be having I told you guys, man, I was going to come out swinging this morning. I wasn't trying to hear the excuses and the fake narratives no. We all know. We all know what happened. We all saw what happened. The fake narratives, they not flying. Bones. Jake Paul lost to Tommy. Jake Paul fights are just boring. But Tank did it for easy money, less damage. I mean, he did it for easy money, less damage, but he also did it to avoid taking a loss to Lamont Roach. He also did it to duck Roach because he knew what was coming. Side, did you run this morning, Jay Smith? No, sir. This morning I took a rest. Strap season boxing. Did Keyshawn Davis duck his last fight? Did Keyshawn Davis duck his last fight? I mean, if you don't make weight, why would that be a duck? We don't consider it a duck. You see, it's like you're saying that Keyshawn Davis, what the hell? I did not want to do that. Now I'm going to figure out how to take that shit off. How do I take that shit off? You're saying that Keyshawn Davis lost the fight. Let me see it. Pick a different one. And I'm going to answer that for you. Did Keyshawn Davis duck the fight? That's a horrible, horrible question to ask. Strap season boxing. And I'm going to say, how can you say that Keyshawn ducked a fight that was never contracted and he's going to be moving up in weight, but he's not fighting anybody? He's not choosing somebody else over. He just didn't make weight. He can't make weight anymore. How could you compare that to Tank fighting, getting beat up, being gifted a draw, and then choosing to go do an exhibition fight right after? That's a horrible comparison. What are you doing? What are you trying to do? That's a bad comparison. Ryan. That's the reality. Keyshawn Davis couldn't make weight. He didn't make weight. They offered him some money. They offered De Los Santos some money. De Los Santos team didn't take the fight. And that's it. We could have all the conspiracies that we want in our mind. But ultimately, he didn't make weight. That's it. But that's the thing. You can't, people want to say that this guy duck when they don't like him, and then when it's another guy, oh, he didn't duck, it's different. People have to hold on. People have to learn. Let me get you some shorts. People have to learn how to keep the same energy with everybody. You see, if you follow me long enough, you're gonna know I always keep the same energy. That's how I do it. Always keep the same energy. I'm not trying to hear it. If I call this guy a duck for pulling a move, I'm going to call everybody a duck for pulling a move. As simple as that. It's not going to be just, oh, well, this guy's a duck, but that guy, I got a good excuse for why he not a duck. That's what Tankomaniacs do. They call everybody a duck when they don't make the fight. But when it's Tank, oh, no, he got a good reason why he didn't fight him. He got a good reason why he's 30 years old and hasn't faced any other best. We can explain it. Nah, he a duck. He a cherry picking duck. And Lamont Roach is a cherry pick gone wrong. I just call it how I see it, man. Side, age of 17. He said that. So it didn't look as bad when he purposely missed weight. Look, whether or not Keyshawn Davis purposely missed making weight, the fight didn't happen. But we're not going to go around calling him a duck because the fight didn't happen. It's not the same as Tank Davis. Damn, look at this. It's not the same, my peoples, as Tank Davis just getting whooped. Getting all type of hands put on him. And then saying, nah, I'm not going to do this rematch. I'm good. I'm straight. For people to then say, oh, well, he's getting the bag. You cold? Hold on. Like, come on, man. People got to stop the cap, man, and accept the duck. Y'all know he duck. Y'all know. There's no need to try and get around it. And I'm going to tell you what. If Lamont Roach put the Swiss, the Dre, and the Apple beats on Pitbull, hold on, calm down. If Lamont Roach puts the Dre, the Swiss, and the Apple beats on Pitbull Cruz, you know we're going to be talking about it, right? You know that's going to be a talking point. Like, oh, damn. Pitbull gave Tank Davis hell. And Lamont Roach just showed up and put the beats on him like that. You best believe that'll be a topic of conversation. Now, if Lamont Roach beats Pitbull Cruz, which I expected, I honestly expected to go down that way. What is going to be next for Lamont Roach? Well, you got to think about it. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez look like they may be meeting up soon. And I'm hoping for that fight. Ernest Morales, Jay is an equal opportunity cooker. Come on now. You know how we do it. If we're on a cooking show, we're going to cook the way we should. And season it correctly every time around. Side, no. He went down for a 135 campaign. Mid-20s. Look, I'm going to tell you guys something. I already seen a video of Keyshawn Davis training. I seen a video of Keyshawn Davis, you know, out like in a desert or something, running. And he's going to come back. And watch, he's going to not just come back, he's going to be even better than before. If you can even believe that. So Keyshawn Davis, you know, he's gone through some things personally, mentally, but I think taking some time off, you know, puts him in the right place, in the right frame of mind, mentally, spiritually, and I believe that he's gonna be, you know, good old Keyshawn Davis looking to accomplish and do big things. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it, my people. I can tell you that right now. Age of 17, Jay Smith have different height and weight than me too. I never heard of a fighter ducking a paycheck against a nobody. Side, no excuses, bro. He ain't a duck, but he was unprofessional. If he knew he was gonna miss weight, then move up. See, that's the thing, that you're looking at it from a different point of view, and I'm gonna tell you why. If he's not gonna make weight, because 2-3 days before the fight, you already know you're not gonna make weight. So at that point, you're just gonna get as close as you can, right? But here's what I want you to consider, Side. Even if you're not making weight, and you know you're not gonna make weight, bro, you still a fighter and you still want to fight. So if anything, when you're not gonna make weight, you still trying to make the fight happen. And how you trying to make it happen? By offering the money. That's what happens in boxing. Oh, we didn't make weight. How much we gotta pay? What's the what the contract says? We gotta give, I don't know, $100,000 per pound. Okay, I'm over 3 pounds. We gotta give you 300,000. Whatever it is. But the point is, my brother, as a fighter, if you don't make weight, you still want to fight. That doesn't mean that when you get there, you're like, yeah, I'm good. Fuck it, I didn't make weight. Let's not fight. You still want to fight because at the end of the day, it's that competitiveness too. It's not just about the check. It's not just about the fame. You enjoy fighting. COE Films. Tank saw a way out and took it. Plus, PBC needed the money. Canelo left them high and dry. Damn, man, PBC. I don't know how PBC is doing financially right now, but well, I don't know what to say. Strap season. So, okay, Tank Davis going through mentally. Okay, you're playing psychologist now. Cool stuff. Cool story, fam. You're a psychologist. You Tank Davis psychologist now. You Tankomaniacs, man. Y'all take on every single profession to defend Tank. My boy said, nah, Tank mentally, he's going through it. Superman. Santos' team said no. And you know what's funny about that? Edwin De Los Santos said that he wanted to fight. And the guy that said no from his team, he fired him. He don't even work with him anymore. He don't even work with him anymore, bro. That's so you can see how things play out. Edwin De Los Santos wanted to make the fight anyways. He was like, yo, let's fight, man. Let's fight. I've been inactive. I had a great training camp. I'm good. Let's fight. And it was the guy he was signed to. It was like, nah, we're not taking it. But, yo, basically, Edwin De Los Santos didn't fight because the guy managing him wanted more money. That's it. The guy managing him was like, nah, we're gonna need more money. That's it. That was it right there. Greed. That's why. So when they try to put it on the weight, if they would have given him more money, he would have been like, yeah, let's take it. Ernest Morales. Can Tank still make 135 after Jake Circus? Remember Roy Jones after his heavyweight fight? Nah, Tank, listen, even without Jake Paul, Tank Davis wasn't going to be able to keep making 135. He wasn't going to be able to. He was going to end up moving up to 140, even if Jake Paul, if that fight wasn't on the table. Side. Then I say right after is not a duck. You see what you want to see. Some people see what they want to see instead of what's actually happening. Vision Omega Bronzeman. He did still want to fight. He took for granted that his unprofessionalism would be tolerated. It wasn't. Simple. And that's okay. But all I'm saying is, as a fighter, if you didn't make weight, you still want to fight. And if your opponent didn't make weight, you still want to fight. Because fighters want to fight. You don't want to spend a whole training camp till they say, oh, nah, we go, we're not fighting. I've been preparing for this, but it's over. Nah, my peoples. Flip. Pitbull is a powerful fighter, but he throws wide looping punches. I think Lamont is going to stay tight on the inside and do some nasty work. However, Pitbull has a very strong chin. I predict the war. That's the same thing I said. You know, they have the styles to make it an explosive fight. Pitbull Cruz, you know he's going to come forward. He's going to apply the pressure. Let the hands fly. And then Lamont Roach, we found out about his counter punching. We found out about his speed, about his angles, everything he's able to do on the inside. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be competitive, but I got Lamont Roach putting no type of hands on him. JJ's in the house. Tank Duck is getting older and can't make 135 easy anymore. Honestly, I don't think that Tank Davis will ever fight in the 135 division again. And it's like I told you, Tank has his fans that will support no matter what he does, that will, he'll go do an exhibition and they'll come up with an argument why that exhibition is the right thing to do for him. It's always going to be that way. But then the general boxing community is getting tired of it. And he knows, he feels that pressure. More and more public pressure of, yo, fight this guy, yo, fight the best, fight that guy. It's only the Tankomaniacs that are going to let that shit fly with the exhibition with Jake Paul. Outside of the Tankomaniacs, nobody want to hear that shit. People want to see him fight the guys that are the top dogs in the division that he's in. Age of 17. Like you're going to say it to my face, I'm laughing at you. Agreed. Damn, y'all over here beefing with each other? Y'all over here ready to put gloves on each other? Let me know if we need to set it up. I'll set it up. Let me know. Listen, my peoples. I think it's very interesting that Lamont Roach is going to fight Pitbull Cruz, because if we get Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson, the winner of those two fights can end up facing each other. That's something that I would like to see. But Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez hasn't been announced yet. I'm hoping that they make that fight. I really want to see it. But we're gonna see, my people. We're gonna see. My peoples, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. You know what it is. Another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Doing what we do. Feeding you this healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Salute. Shout out to Sai. Agent 17 was in the building. JJ's in their house. Superman Flip. Vision Omega. Everybody, man. Everybody who tuned in, I appreciate you guys. Y'all already know what it is. Before I get out of here, I got to give you the J. Stradamus words of the day. You know it. I know last week a lot of people hit me up like, yo, Jay, you finished the show, man. You didn't give us the J. Stradamus words of the day. Superman, my brother. Bam. So let me give you guys the J. Stradamus words of the day before we get out of here, so you can kick off your Thirsty Thursday on the right track. Hold on. Look. These J. Stradamus words of the day, I'm going to give it to you guys while looking into the horizon. Let me look into the horizon as I give you these jewels. My peoples, we still see, and this is a message that I share with you guys all the time. So, this is a message that I share with you guys all the time, and I want you to consider it. You see how Tankomaniacs are always arguing in the best of his interest? They're always, well, he's going to get more money, or he's going to get the bag. Or, well, this is what he should do because it's best for him. You see how they always do that? They're always arguing in the best of Tank's interest. Well, I hope they only do that in social media. In real life, my peoples, focus on your interests. Focus on you. Focus on your house, your bills, your kids, your health. Focus on you. Because at the end of the day, if things go downhill for you, ain't nobody going to bring you back up. If you lose your job, if you go broke, if you're in a car accident, Tank Davis ain't going to send you a check. None of these millionaire athletes is gonna send you a check. So I got a 9 to 5, and most of you got a 9 to 5. And we gotta get up in the morning, we gotta go to work, we gotta handle business, right? So I have no interest, you will notice that I have no interest in debating about millionaires and how much money they got. You know why? Because I'm not a millionaire. Why would I care about who has $10 million and who has $50 million? They're both millionaires and I'm not. So my peoples, focus on you and what you got and what you getting and what you want to get. Stop focusing on what other people got. Stop focusing on what other people getting. All that energy you put in on focusing on other people and what they got, you could have been putting it on yourself. You could have been investing that energy in yourself. But you're too busy talking about the people that got it. So that's my word of the day, my people, for you. That's the J. Stradamus words of the day for you, my peoples. Focus on you. Do you. And everything is going to be on the up and up. But if you focusing on everybody else and what everybody else got, what everybody else getting, your ass is going to be cooked. Cooked. Superman, the sunglasses salad wasn't on the breakfast today. Got timed out for 24 hours and didn't come today. They'll be back tomorrow. You know how it be. My peoples, salute to everybody, man, who tuned in. Toy Mafia, everybody else. I'm out of here, man. One love. Bam. See you guys tomorrow. By the way, listen. Let me put you on real quick before I get out of here. Tomorrow, I'm going to be with the Dominican elite boxing team. The national boxing team of this country. I'm going to be rocking with them tomorrow morning. You want to tune in. Let me just give you the heads up right now, man. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be able to do because they're going to be doing some training and some drills that I already know they're not going to allow me to film, right? So I thought they was just going to let me put everything on there, but there's some things that I won't be able to. But tomorrow, my peoples, tune in. By the way, let me also tell you this. I'm glad that you guys are here to say this. And I'm going to post a video so everybody knows. Tomorrow's episode of Boxing for Breakfast is probably going to start a little bit later. Maybe at 8 in the morning or something like that. I'm not sure. But I'm going to post a video to let you guys know. Stay tuned, my peoples. Tomorrow's going to be real interesting. Y'all already know what it is, man. This is another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I'm Jay Smith. I'm out of here, man. One love to everybody. Bam. Don't forget to hit the like and don't forget to subscribe. Some of y'all duck that like button the same way Tank Davis ducked Lamont Roach. Let me leave y'all with that one.